Everyone's got something to say about the kid Brock Purdy, but all Brock Purdy continues to do is prove why he is the perfect quarterback for this 49ers team right now. As we know, after that Ravens game in front of the whole world, it wasn't Brock Purdy's best game, but honestly, a lot of it was a really just fluky situation. We broke it down on tape and we looked at it, we flushed it, and we're beyond it now. But this reaction to the touchdown where Brock Purdy has to scramble out, points to Brandon Aiyuk, tells him where to go, and then hits him with a touchdown against the Commanders. And his reaction to it, man, I literally have been talking about Brock from the very beginning. Obviously, I'm a 49ers channel. It's what we do. We break down the tape and we try to analyze both from a tape perspective, but we also try to psychoanalyze as best as we can based on our understanding of how football works. And after that game against the Ravens, one of the things that, I was talking about was, man, he's going to be able to bounce back from this. I believe in the kid. I believe in his presence, who he is as a person, that he's going to be able to flush this game and bounce back. And this clip really, to me, exemplifies all of that, exemplifies his passion, his ability to bounce back. And man, absolutely, absolutely phenomenal. Let's watch this. This is from the 49ers. They just posted this. Absolutely fantastic reaction. We'll play it all the way through, and then we will react to it on the other side. But let's enjoy 49ers Brock Purdy hitting Brandon Aiyuk for a sick touchdown, and his reaction is a vibe. Take a look right here.
Here's third down. Purdy looks right. Purdy now chased out of the pocket. Now going back the other way, a 360 spin. Trying to send, throws for the end zone. Aiyuk is open. Touchdown! San Francisco!
Wow, Brock Purdy spinning out. There was nowhere to go with the ball. He looks right. He looks left. Puts his foot in the ground and finds Aiyuk going against the grain in the back of the end zone. Wide open. Touchdown.
Man, how can you not be hyped off this kid? I get it, man. Like, I really don't care about much of the outside noise. People are going to have opinions and they're going to say what they're going to say. All I really care about are our coaches, our players, and I do care about what the fans think. Our fans. I don't care what anyone else's fans think. I care what our fans think. And to be honest, I've been doing this long enough. I interact with hundreds of thousands of 49ers fans monthly, weekly, daily, yearly. So I know how you guys feel for the most part. And I would say the there's more people backing up Brock Purdy at this point than those that are not. And that's because they have seen, and I have seen some of the biggest Brock Purdy quote unquote haters change their tune, shift their path because they have to, because Brock is continuing to prove week in, week out that he's that guy. And if you've been evaluating this process from the very beginning, starting back when he came in as a rookie, all the way till now, it really hasn't been that hard to see. If you take your biases out of it and you really just evaluate ball, Brock Purdy has been showing to us that he has the makings of a franchise quarterback since he entered against the Dolphins. And then look what he's done ever since. The reason why people continue to doubt him is because he was the last pick in the NFL draft, and he looks like your neighbor. He looks like one of your buddy's friends. Like he looks like a guy that you could interact with on the daily. And I think that causes people to pause a little bit. It causes them to be like, well, is he that guy? Is he the franchise quarterback? And I don't know what else he needs to do to prove those people that he is the franchise quarterback, but it's abundantly clear to me that he is. And when you see that the way his teammates interact with him, when they talk about him, that he's a difference maker. We got into that whole game manager, game changer conversation. Whatever. We know what Brock is. We know what he brings to the table. And we know if Brock Purdy is playing quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers, we have our best chance to win than we have ever had under the Kyle Shanahan regime. And that's saying a lot. It is. It really, really is. So I'm just happy for the kid. Again, I wasn't deterred by the performance against the Ravens. You could see how it kind of unraveled on him, and it made sense to me. The biggest thing for me was just to see how he'd come out and respond, if there would be any lingering issues or kind of mental things that stuck with him, and they didn't. And that's all you need to see from a guy like Brock. So I love this video. I love the reaction to it. I love his, I mean, he's a leader. And the fact that he just turned 24, maybe like what, a week ago, and he has the respect of his entire locker room. He's earning the respect of his fans and people who aren't his fans. And if they still continue to doubt, that's fine. I think that's healthy for Brock. I think Brock is wired in a way where he hears all that stuff, it pisses him off, and it just adds fuel to the fire. He's a fiery competitor, and he's going to compete at the highest level. And I just think, man, that the 49ers are in such good spot with Brock Purdy. I think that Ravens game is going to turn into a blessing in disguise ultimately when it's all said and done. Just for him dealing with the pressure of that game, finding himself on the wrong side of it and being able to process it, move on, and go out and still be able to ball. Like, that should build up a ton of confidence in him moving forward. I think it will prepare him for any type of game that they have in the future if they do make it all the way to the Super Bowl, and all the focus and all the hype being on him. He's already kind of experienced that with all the MVP hype and the Lamar Jackson versus Brock Purdy MVP Bowl and all those different types of things. I think he's going to be well suited moving forward. And, there was so much made about Brock this offseason, his UCL surgery, the whole Trey Lance situation, and Sam Darnold and training camp evals, whether good or absolutely awful. That really kind of put a splinter in what Brock was doing, how he was coming back from the UCL surgery, the fact that he wasn't even practicing fully in training camp after 2.5 months removed from UCL surgery. Um, there was a disservice done to Brock Purdy and his evaluation in training camp. And that's honestly going to be something that's going to be discussed for a long time. However, it's not our focus right now. We know what it is. That's in the past. And of course, but it's something that's going to stick for a long time. It's not going away anytime soon. And I think that's why it keeps getting brought up organically in conversations, is because people remember those evals, whether good or bad, and they remember because honestly, that training camp was a masterclass in who can evaluate quarterback play and who cannot. And if you came away from that training camp thinking that Brock Purdy was going to be good and he's going to be all right, look at where you have found yourself, because that is what he has done. Brock Purdy has proven that he was only going to continue to improve throughout training camp, through the regular season, and he's just been on fire ever since. So I couldn't be happier for Brock. Couldn't be happier for this team. I know a lot of you guys are like me. You guys know, if you follow this channel, I told you point blank period from the very beginning of training camp, when I was there for every practice, that I was going to evaluate the quarterback play as objectively as possible. And that was someone coming who was a fan of Trey Lance and a fan of Brock Purdy. And I told you, listen, this is going to be challenging. It's going to be difficult, but I'm going to be as objective as possible, good or bad, for either quarterback. And that's exactly what I did. And because I did that, and because I trust my evaluation and I trust my ability to scout and understand what is actually happening in front of me, I am not surprised to see where my stance was in training camp, which was Brock was the best quarterback in training camp, to now and what we've seen. So we'll continue to watch this situation progress and evolve. He's a quarterback in his second season. There's still so much more for him to continue to grow and become better and evolve his game. So even what we're seeing right now with Brock Purdy isn't the full story. There's still plenty of room to grow. But what did you think about his reaction? What do you think about all this stuff? What do you think the whole thing revolving around Brock Purdy? Let me know how you're feeling in the comments below. And as always, make sure to like and subscribe for more updates.